Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Eden Zero, chapter 193. When we last left our heroes, Wise, much quicker than I thought he would, saw through the hologram of his mom's deathbed, called Killer out on it, and got into a pretty evenly matched fight with Killer. I think Wise was maybe a little in the lead there, because as the fight went on, Killer used a bit more of a desperate method, bringing down what appeared to be a sort of like a Bacta tank kind of thing in Star Wars, containing someone that sure looks a lot like Wise's mom. As Killer claims that is his mom, who, after she was killed by Draken's life-draining thing, the scientists continued to experiment on her to find out what happened, and then somehow brought her back. It all feels fake. And it feels like that's the point. It's setting up this sort of conflict between the logical choice, which is to ignore Wise's mom, she's clearly fake, and just fight Killer, and the emotional choice of not wanting Wise's mom to die. But we don't quite know what's going on with that quite yet. We don't know what the truth is there. So yeah, with that said, let's dive right on in chapter 193, A Good Boy. Which, I don't know, my instinct is telling me that maybe that's like Wise's mom praising her son or something. I don't know, it's a little unclear where we're going with that. Our picture here is of Hermit doing some techie things, but also looks kind of like a DJ, almost. Like, not in her personal design, but like the gear around her. I don't know, it's interesting. We pick up where we left off, with Wise still in overdrive, squaring off against Killer, with the mom tube in the middle of them. And Killer goes to strike the tube, as Wise rushes at him, and Killer stops right in front of the tube. Or no, he doesn't stop. This is where the panel happens to be set. But Wise gets there first and knocks Killer back. And Killer lands on his feet, but it's just a hologram, right? So who cares if I smash it? Or did you start thinking it might really be her? And Wise is still pushing through. He just slams into Killer with his fist, whether it is or not. I don't like you using my loved ones to mess with me. And Killer gives him a firm kick in the head and taunts, and that is why you will lose. And Killer does some more fucking around with the dimension and spawns these sort of attack drones surrounding the Bacta tank, for lack of a better word. And Wise sees all that. Mom! And he dashes to try to stop them, and Killer just grins, fire! And they all shoot. And as they all shoot at his mom, we move into a flashback back in Norma, where a very young Wise has apparently gotten into a fight. And his mom asks him, this is before she's sick, what happened to your eye? I fell. And Miss Steiner calls him out. You don't get hurt like that by falling. Tell me what really happened. Nothing happened. Was it a bully? No, it wasn't. Some jerk said you don't have a dad because he cheated on your mom and ran off. I was actually just about to ask what happened with, I was just wondering where is his dad in the situation? Are we going to, see him or something? But no, there's the answer. It's sort of mundane in its simplicity. But anyway, Mama Wise sighs. So you had a fight with your friend. That idiot isn't my friend. But she sort of pushes back past him and, gives him just a big hug. I'm so sorry, Wise. They all expect a family to have a mom and a dad. But Wise just sort of stops her. I don't care about that. This is what's normal for us. And we have our title phrase there. You really are such a good boy. And I promise I'll make sure you never feel alone. Because I love you enough for both a mom and a dad. So I definitely do think we're going to see that a good boy line again in the present. I don't know what the context is going to be there. If it's going to be the person we assume is a hologram is actually real, or she's still a hologram that has enough of Wise's memory in her that she can have that callback or something. I don't know. But I don't think we're only going to see that a good boy line once in this chapter. I think we'll see it again. And we move back to the present as the smoke clears, and we see that Wise has taken the brunt of all those bullets. Somehow, I guess none of the bullets were behind the tube, because she still seems fine. Wise is bloodied up, though. He's taken the emotional route, and he's taken that damage. Mom, is that really you? And he falls to his knees, bloodied up, And then, as he's there, Killer just laughs. And here's an interesting thing. I can't quite tell if this is meant to be mistranslation, or there's definitely an error in this next bubble. Because what he says is it indeed, period. And so the question is it meant to be, is it indeed, question mark, as if we still don't know? Or, it is indeed, as he confirms it? I'm not sure, and it definitely sort of muddies up what is going on in this chapter. Because like I said last week, I think it really does make more sense if this is a hologram. It means that the logical and the emotional response are different. Whereas if she's alive, then both the emotional and logical response are to protect her. So again, I just don't know what we're supposed to be getting out of that line, because it feels like there is definitely an error there. The question is which one. Anyway, then Clown comes in. I see you finished things up on your end. Clown. And Clown is out of his nightmare clown form, in his normal form. Me too. See? And then we see that we don't get to see what's in the Rebecca nightmare dimension, which I'm a little disappointed about, though maybe she's still there in her own mind and we'll get to see it eventually. But she's kind of strung up, crucified in this nightmare mist. Pino and Happy are stuck in an even tinier birdcage. I'm guessing Pino's power is turned off. Though I guess Pino's EMPs don't work on clowns. Maybe not. I don't know. And Killer then tells him, well, I was dealing with Wise. I captured Shiki, too. You overachiever, you. You did much better than the Whiz Kid. He didn't take it seriously and paid the price. And Killer then chimes in, now we just need Homura. Let's grab her, and there's an interesting... Okay. So, maybe what Killer is saying, maybe the obvious interpretation of that is, we just need to get Homura off the board, right? So that all of Shiki's, main inner circle are out of the fight. But something about that, maybe it's just me, but something about the phrasing there, we just need Homura, implies to me that they're using our heroes for something. And I'm not sure what that would be. Either way, Clown stops him. I wouldn't recommend that. Our Briggy boy, he's the type to think there's meaning in the battle itself. And Killer acknowledges he is scary when he gets mad. We'll just let him handle things, while we go off to accomplish our true purpose. And that was implied. That was sort of an insinuation at the end of the Clown fight. That, Clown said, my purpose isn't to finish you off, it's something else. Or he didn't say the something else part, that was sort of implied. I don't know what that would be, though. Either way, we cut to Shiki, who's still bound in all this. What did he do to me? I can't use my powers. No, wait. I can use my ether gear, right? Because he learned how to use the ether gear while immobile, way back in the Xenolith training stuff. Is there something I can use to escape? And he looks over and he sees some scalpels, medical tools, a syringe, scissors. And he realizes, aha, I just need to grab those, and he uses his gravity to, control the scalpel to cut him free, and the scissors and all that good stuff. And he breaks free. He's done it. But one of them, reaches out to grab, one of the things tying him down reaches out to grab his ankle and, falls over? Okay. So at least Shiki's kind of free. As Shiki just says to himself, hang in there, guys. I'm coming to help. And we cut to Pino and Happy in the birdcage, Wise shot full of holes, and Rebecca trapped in her nightmares, as we cut to Homura and Brigandine. And Homura's not doing too hot. She's not down, but she's clearly on the back foot here. She's breathing heavy, covered in dirt and blood and torn clothes. And Brigandine is still doing fine and taunts her. Is that your best, Homura? And Homura looks up. He's strong, mightier than any enemy I have fought. I am honored to hear you say that. And Homura in her classic gag, oops, did I say that aloud? And Brigandine goes on, I was created to defeat Valkyrie. And that means I was given the greatest attack power, the 4 Dark Stars. Which is interesting, because he's the armor, right? Which is more defensive. I don't know. Interesting thing. I don't know. The titles of the Dark Stars are really kind of weird and confusing to me, but whatever. And Homura sort of looks at him, but Valkyrie died before I had a chance to face her. Then I sustained heavy damage when I was defeated by Jaguar. My life had begun to lose all meaning. When I was revived, I was assigned one mission, to eliminate the heir to the name of Valkyrie. So there's an important little bit of factoids that Brigandine gives us, is that I sort of assumed that Brigandine and Killer were, like, new before all this stuff happened, right? But what we get there is that they're not, like, new bots. They're the old bots, but repaired. He says sustained heavy damage. He uses the revived line, which I guess could imply that he actually did die fighting Jaguar. But, like, he's still the same person, which you kind of, I suppose, should have assumed when we saw his memories with Valkyrie. But still, important to know. Anyway, Brigandine readies a punch. That will be the proof of my strength. And Homura can't do anything. She can't stand against him at all here. So she takes that full punch and goes flying through the sand. Stand up. Surely this is not the true extent of your power. And we leave Homura there, glaring at Brigandine. As we cut to the city, the main parts of Lendard, where the crew is still fighting Dead End. The fight with Crow is still going on. The Eden Zero dodges another strike from Crow that knocks out a skyscraper. Again, for a bit of a refresher, last time we left this area was with Lobelia and Couchpo. As Lobelia was so moved by Rebecca's insistence in joining the fight that she ran off to do something that we just don't know yet. Either way, the ex-Draken gang are in their little starfighters fighting him. As Jean comments, God, does he have to destroy everything? And Laguna chimes in, and it's all we can do fighting off the little guys. And Clean calls, Holy, do something! And we see Holy in her witch-style night gear. I'm trying. You dears just fight off the little ones and clear me a path. I swear I will finish him off. Back in the ship, Hermit calls out, Don't do anything reckless, Holy. Your job is to act as a diversion. And Sister chimes in, Yeah, so the Eden Zero can fire its main cannon. And Connor also joins in the call. We'll be taking evasive maneuvers and retreating to just within firing range. Jean, Clean, Laguna, I need you to defend the mothership. And then we cut to Lobelia, who's still running through the ship. I have to help Rebecca. I need a starfighter. Will I get in trouble for just taking one? And then we hear a little, like, buzz. Like an intercom calling into the hangar Lobelia's in. Is somebody there? Okay. Doesn't seem to be intercom. I think it's like a teleporter or something. Maybe tied into the Subdimension program. Because now Killer and Clown are on the Eden Zero. As Killer tells her, shh. And Clown just grins, do pardon the intrusion. And Lobelia is just terrified. Okay, so the most immediate callback here is the fight with Maria Slime and Diego and one other in the first half of the Bebel Gore, right? When they invaded the Eden Zero, they were seemingly taken out, but then Maria was still fine, and Diego was also fine because he was a bot or something. They were able to kill Sister and Hermit, maybe Witch too, I forget. That's what this immediately brings to mind, was the disastrous ending of Universe 1. And we'll see what comes of that. Lobelia is in a lot of danger here, and she has we learned on Dahlia that she had a little bit of combat experience, of martial arts training. I mean, not really combat experience per se, but I doubt that's going to do much against these guys that just wipe the floor with Rebecca and Wise. Because I don't think Lobelia is that strong. We do have Sister and Hermit here. Maybe they can do something. And I don't know, maybe they have to call in the Drakeners, the ex-Drakenites. I don't know. But yeah, that's the cliffhanger that's crowding my mind right now. There's still plenty of other stuff here. I will say I was a little shocked at the fact that we didn't really get an answer about Wise's mom. There's that. I think maybe there was a post to, but that really seems to be mistranslated. Either it needs a question mark that is it indeed, or it should be it is indeed. Again, just hard to tell. I feel like is it indeed meant to be a question still feels to be the most important thing. are the most likely option, but if anyone's seen the Raws and wants to, like, fill me in on what is meant to be there, please feel free to. I'm very curious. Either way, you know, the Wise stuff is largely, like, I thought this would largely be a chapter continuing the Wise stuff, maybe ending with Wise beating Killer, though that seems to not be, like how this is meant to go. And I'm starting to think that none of our heroes are going to beat the Dark Stars, except for the Wizard stuff. Except for the fight with the Wizard. Like Homer seems to be losing. Wise and Rebecca have lost. Though with Shiki free in the hospital dimension, maybe he can still do something? I don't know. Like Killer is gone, so you can't really fight Killer. But maybe he could save Wise? I don't know. Lots of questions there. But yeah, that's the next thing, though, is that Shiki's free. Shiki's free, and he's going to try to save his friends, no matter what the cost there. Meanwhile, Rebecca's getting her ass kicked, or not Rebecca, Homer is getting her ass kicked by Brigandine, and doesn't seem to have much of a way out, though we'll see. She hasn't gone into overdrive yet, so maybe there's a possibility there. Meanwhile, the fight with Crow is sort of happening. Like, but beyond the Killer and Clown stuff that we'll get to next week, there's not really a lot of, you know, either positive or negative developments in the fight. It's not like we've seen with the Dark Stars, where, like, our heroes are on the back foot, they're doing worse and worse. You know, Gene Laguna and Clean are struggling a little bit, but not really with Crow himself. There's a bunch of little flunkies they have to fight. And it's sort of, like, they seem to be more annoyed than, like, losing. Whereas Holy hasn't done much against Crow yet. But, you know, they're getting ready for what will hopefully be the takedown of Crow. But there's some trouble on the ship, because, again, Killer and Clown are here, and they don't mean well. So, yeah. And also, it does seem very, very important that it's Killer and Clown here, now that I think about it for a sec. Because, you know, it's their doubles who are still on the ship. It's, you know, we're going to get a Killer Hermit fight and a Clown Sister fight, I bet. And how that will factor into the fight with Crow in an interesting way, we don't quite know yet. I'm excited to see what comes from that. But all in all, it's not quite fair to call this chapter a setup chapter, though its ending very much is. But it does sort of feel like, this current phase of the war is starting to draw to a close, with our heroes initially failing, a la Belial Gore, but maybe not quite as devastating as that arc was in its mid-arc climax. But, you know, our heroes are losing, save for Shiki, who doesn't have a photo fight. And now Killer and Clown are here with Lobelia alone. I don't think they're going to kill Lobelia, though I guess it's not outside the realm of possibility for this series. But I do think this is going to lead into Killer and Clown fighting their doppelgangers. That's the reason for their purpose they've been referring to. But yeah, all in all, good stuff here. I can't wait to see how all this goes in the future, because God, you know, Eden Zero is always on a roll, but it's just fun to see it this damn good. So with that said, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!